Hello. It is Tuesday. I'm headed to the post office. I have some groceries being delivered this afternoon between 3 and 5, I think. I ordered from Walmart again, but a different Walmart, and it's quite a bit further away. But what I'm doing, because they can't seem to get their crap together, and they don't keep things cold like you would like them to, and so what I'm doing is I'm ordering stuff from Walmart that isn't like, it won't matter a lot if it's not in a refrigerated space for 30 minutes or whatever, however long it'll take them to get here from the store they're coming from. And then anything that is perishable, I'm going to order from Kroger and pick that stuff up. I'm tired of this Florence Walmart and them having their heads up their butts and just never being able to get their crap together. You know, it's a load of shit. Anyway, these people like to drive this particular stretch of road in the middle, coming from the other direction, and it's like, I'm not here for a head-on collision. Don't. Oh, here we go again with the drivers. Anyway, there is an auction that's ending tonight, and I had quite a few bids on different things, but I've gotten outbid, and I'm not bidding up just for the sake of, there was one item that I really wanted, and I just, I went up to $20 on it, on one thing, and I was not going to go any higher. And I don't know, somebody must be buying it for personal. They cannot be buying it to resell. I think it's a Fenton hobnail, and it's like this really pretty kind of it's between like a turquoise and a cobalt blue. It's an egg dish. You put your hard-boiled eggs, like deviled eggs or whatever. Anyway, they sell for around 40 or 50, and that's the recent sold comps, and the highest I was going was 20, because if I'm only gonna be able to sell it for 40, then, and after fees and stuff, I'm not even gonna make what I paid for it, you know what I mean? So I stopped, and there were a couple of other ones that I had bid on. I put my highest amount in, and that was it. And people went over me, and I'm like, that's okay, go ahead, pay more for it. I don't care. There's still, I think, 3 lots that I'm the highest bidder on. So, and they're more than one item in each lot, which is what I prefer. Granted, you usually get a couple things that aren't worth anything. They end up getting donated, or they sell for practically nothing, and that's whatever, but usually there's at least 1 or 2 things that make it worth getting the lot. This particular auction house very often will have where they'll do like a shelf of, they go into the people's homes, and so it's like an estate sale but auction style, and it's like this whole shelf is one lot, and so it's a shelf of stuff for one lot, or a whole thing, like a whole bookshelf or whatever is one lot. And so that's kind of how this one is running, and I've seen them do it before, but there wasn't anything that I was interested in. This one, they had a few things, and I was like, well, if I get these lots, it probably would work out to about the same amount I would pay for the items individually if I went to a yard sale. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. If I don't win anything, then that's fine. I'm not going to sweat over it, It's not meant to be. I brought my list of my solds with me, so that, oh, I hope I have my glasses with me. I don't know if I have my reading glasses with me. If I don't, then bringing that list was for naught, because I will not be able to read anything. I might have a pair of glasses in here. Maybe not my best ones, but I have some, so they'll do the job so that I can read the list. Anyway, I brought it with me so I don't have to do it inside, and I didn't want to do it outside because last time I ended up with you guys looking up my nose the whole time. You know, that's not a good angle. This isn't a lot better, but it's a little bit better. So my passenger back window keeps falling down, and if you guys have been around, you know that most of my windows, the motors are out in them. The front passenger window works if you use the controller on the door. The controller that I have by me that's supposed to be the master controller, it doesn't work. It'll roll it down, but it won't roll it back up. And I have replaced the one in this door by me 3 times, I think. It's not cheap either. It's like, I think the first time it was right after my warranty, so the dealership went ahead and replaced it, and I didn't pay very much. But the second time I had to pay the full price, and it was like $300, I think it was around $300 for the stupid motor to get replaced. And then, this will be the fourth. If I did it again, it'll be the 4th time, because then the 3rd time, I had a couple that I was friends with when I lived in the old Fart mobile home park, and the husband he worked at an auto parts place. He was in the office at the place, but they still got like discounts on their parts and stuff like that. So he got the part for me, and then he installed it for me. So that saved me a ton of money. I can't remember how much that ended up costing. Or if he did it for, I think they weren't going to let me pay for the part, but I ended up giving them some money for it. I wasn't going to let them pay for it, you know what I mean? So anyway, I've got 2 things I'm dropping off at the post office. One of them was a viewer sale, but I'll get to that when I go through the solds. I'm not sure where I'm going to park for this. I've got to pull that window back up. It keeps falling down in. So someone at one of the dealerships told me this trick that you can do, and it worked the whole time I was living in Arizona. I don't know if it's the humidity and the moisture in the air or what, but it's not working as good here. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way. If you take a piece of coax cable, it's got the rubber on, or kind of I don't know what that stuff is that's on the outside of them, but if you take a piece of coax cable and stick it in between the glass and I don't know what this stuff is. The stuff that's down inside your window that keeps the glass from scraping. Anyway, if you put a piece of coax cable and wedge it in there, it'll hold the glass in place. And it worked for me for years, because both the back windows have not been operable for many years now. And so I just had them wedged in place with a piece of coax cable, and it worked great. And the past month or so, this one back window this one falls down too, but not as bad. This other one keeps trying to just open all the way. It fell down several times during the move, when I had the car on the trailer behind the truck, and it was getting bounced all over the place. Anyway, it fell down a few times, and I had to climb up on the thing and fix it so that if I happened to hit any rain or whatever, it wouldn't, go in the car. So, and we're supposed to have some more rain, so I've got to get this window back up. But anyway, I'm going to run into the post office, then I'm going to mess with the window, and then I'm going to try and find a spot to park so that I can tell you guys my solds and stuff. I don't have to be back home for an hour. So, there's a bunch of people out here. Not right next to me, but in the cars. Somebody just went, oh, somebody's coming out. Okay, I'm gonna go in and get this taken care of. I will be back. Okay, the window is up, but I don't know how long it's gonna stay that way. I'm trying to get the phone in the position so that I can post the photos on this side of the items, so you guys can see what they look like. Anyway, I'm going to try and blow through this pretty quick. It's very sticky and humid and sweaty, and it's not super warm today, but the humidity is pretty high, so because it's supposed to rain. And I see some dark clouds over there. So anyway, the sales are from the 8th of June through the 16th. So yesterday, I sold 19 items. I had 18 buyers. One person purchased 2 items, and that was Catherine, who is a viewer. Thank you, Catherine. She did not use the coupon that I put the code down below for you guys, so I refunded her 10%. And she also was charged more than the shipping ended up being, so she was refunded some shipping also. Anyway, the 2 items that she purchased were the Silly Halloween Jack-o'-lantern with braces tea light candle holder, and I picked that up at a yard sale recently. And the second item she purchased was the 5 hand embroidered napkins that I picked up at a yard sale very recently. Anyway, it was $8 for the jack-o'-lantern and $15 for the napkins. I did take, again, 10% off. And I think her final shipping total was $6.48. It's somewhere around there. Anyway, my cost of goods was $3 for the napkins and the jack-o'-lantern. So thank you again, Catherine. I really appreciate it. Now I've got a gnat in here trying to make friends with me. So we'll see how long this lasts. Me doing this in the car. Let's see, is this charging? I've got one of my vapes charging. It was dead. Okay, next item I sold. And I'm going in reverse. So the jack-o'-lantern, tea light candle holder, and the embroidered napkins just sold yesterday. And then I'm going backward. Next item I sold was a pair of hand-carved ornate teak wood candlestick holders, 10 inches. I put tiki boho. They came from Israel, I believe. And anyway, I paid $3 for them, and they sold for $10.80. And the buyer paid $8.74 in shipping. The next item I sold, my glasses are loose in case you can't tell, because these are my crappy ones that were in the car. The next item I sold was that brass pineapple that I found at a yard sale not too long ago, maybe a month ago, I guess. Anyway, it was a brass pineapple crown lid. So the crown of the pineapple was the lid. Trinket box container, candle holder. You could put a little tiny candle in the top. I think it was 6.5 inches tall. Anyway, I paid $3 for it. It sold for $11.90, and the buyer paid $6.86 in shipping. The next item I sold, and I purchased these. I'm trying to remember if I got these in Arizona or if I got them since I got here. I cannot remember. It was a pair of vintage Otagiri. I think I got them in Arizona. Now, I'm trying to remember where I found them. Blue-gray birds, hand-painted, 3 inches tall, Japan. I paid $5 for them, and I sold them finally for $10. I guess it was Arizona that I found them because... yeah, it was. It was hot still, I think, when I went to the house where these were at. Anyway, paid $5 for them. They sold for $10. Price has been coming down. And the buyer paid $8.34 in shipping. The next item I sold was a lot of 3 Department 56 snow babies. Every single one of them had damage. And I talked about these in a recent video that I did. Like, I think it was my last video. They all had damage. I mentioned what the damage was in the most recent video. And an airplane. Anyway, I averaged out the price for each of the snow babies was right around $2. Because I paid $50 for the box, and I believe there were 31 in there. 3 of them had damage. I've checked the other ones. I did not see any damage. I still have 10 that I need to take photos of and get listed. So anyway, I put my cost of goods at $6. They sold for $7.50, and the buyer paid $7.03 in shipping, and I've already gotten positive feedback on those. She's re-glued the back of the chair and got it fixed, and she said the other 2 couldn't even really notice. I just know that I was not going to sell them for normal price, and that's why I lotted them up. I made my money back on them and a couple pennies more, and I'm fine. And they didn't end up in the garbage, you know? So the next item I sold was 2 Party Light Cocapelli and Gecko Burgundy votive candle holders. They were Southwest design. They were metal with glass on the inside. I believe there was glass in them, a glass insert. Anyway, they were 3 inches tall. I paid $2 for them at an estate sale, I believe, in Arizona. And they sold for $8, and the buyer paid $5.71 in shipping. And these sold to someone in Arizona. So make sure. Okay, I missed an item here, so I'm going to leave the screen blank. I will show you what the item was. It was a Department 56 Snow Babies Celebrations Baby on Board figurine, and that one cost, my cost of goods was about $2, a little less. Sold for $8, and shipping paid was $5.71. Let's see, the next item I sold was the, I picked this up here at a company that does estate sales, and they have a little shop, and they had some things. I bought it from them. I overpaid for it, but I made my money back, so I'm fine with that. Hand-painted oval lattice planter, Portugal floral, 9 by 4.75, vintage, and it was signed by the artist. Anyway, or the person that made the piece. There's a few of them out there. I paid $8 for it. It sold for $14.40 finally, and shipping paid was $7.66. The next item I sold was a pair of Romans black and gray leopard print capri leggings. These were mine in my closet. I think I wore them once. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought leopard print. That's not my thing. Anyway, I sold those for, and I don't even remember what I paid for them, and I've had them for a long time. So sold them for $7, and shipping paid was $6.12. The next item I sold was something that I picked up at that estate, that same, oh, it was a yard sale, same one where I got that Halloween jack-o'-lantern thing with the braces on its teeth. It was a Chinese hand-carved soapstone lotus leaf dish, gray, 5 inches. I paid $1 for it. It sold for $8, and shipping paid was $7.34. The next item I sold was for my friend, so this, it doesn't count in my totals, but I'm sharing with you guys just so you know what sold. Uh-oh, I feel raindrops hitting my arm. I'm gonna have to speed this up. It was a Manna brand, M-A-N-N-A, stainless steel water bottle, charcoal. Let's see, yeah, it was the charcoal one that sold. It sold for $9.90, and the buyer paid $7.34 in shipping, and I've already gotten positive feedback on that. All the rest of these sales I've already gotten feedback on. And I don't leave feedback first. I'm just one of those people. I'll wait until I've gotten feedback from the buyer. Then I will leave feedback, because you can't go in and change it after, you know, and I know we can't say anything. We can't leave a negative feedback, but we can say things, you know. We can let other people know in our comments when we leave feedback for someone, you know, if they were weird or whatever. Anyway, the next item I sold was a resin elephant figurines, 2 pairs, realistic miniature. They were really cute, and they looked really well done. They were resin. They were only 2 inches tall. They were really tiny. Anyway, I paid $3 for them at a yard sale, no, estate sale, in a house. And I believe that these were also in Arizona. Anyway, I sold them for $6, and I got an offer because they've been listed for quite a while. And the buyer paid $5.59 in shipping, and I've already gotten positive feedback on those. The next item I sold was one of those recent, that lady that I bought that lot of Christmas things from here. It was Facebook Marketplace pickup. Anyway, it was a village scene, lit Christmas trees lot. And it was you'll see a picture up here in the corner. Anyway, it was repaired, and I put that in there. I paid about $2 for it because I split everything up evenly price-wise from what was in the tote. And I sold it for $10.80, and shipping paid was $10.50. And again, she's already left positive feedback. The next item I sold, and I've had this listed for a very, very long time. It was gotten in Arizona at in an auction lot. And it was a Royal Sealy cabinet style music jewelry box, wood mesh doors, two red line drawers. Okay. I just put stuff in the title. Sometimes it doesn't read like a sentence because I don't need it to. I need it to have words so that people can find things. Anyway, I paid $5 for it, sold it for $10, and shipping paid was $7.15. And again, positive feedback already. The next item was also from that Christmas lot that I recently picked up on Facebook, or from Facebook. Thomas Kincaid 2019, a first responders Christmas fire station Dalmatian decor. And that's just how I had it in the thing. Paid about $2 for it. So again, I split up the price, what I paid for everything, and sold it for $10.80. And let's see, shipping paid was $8.17, and I've gotten positive feedback on that one. The next item I sold, and I believe this was my best sale for an individual item, was a Lenox Holiday Village lit schoolhouse, 6.5 inches figurine, retired, no box. I paid about $10 for it. It was in a lot that I purchased from an auction place here, and it sold for $32. So I tripled my money on it. Shipping paid was $9.81, and I've already gotten feedback on that. Good feedback. This next item I will tell you, I'll skip and tell you about this other sale, and then I'll tell you about the thing that's hanging out there. Vintage blue and white with gold trim, hand-painted Flora Fauna toothpick holder. It was kind of had an Asian, like, I don't know if it was Japanese or if it was China or what, but anyway, I paid about $1 for it, and it was in an auction lot in Arizona. I've had this thing listed forever. Sold for $7.20. Shipping paid was $6.75, and I got positive feedback on that. This last item was a you'll see what it was up here in the corner. Overbite Funny Ugly 3D face mug, studio art pottery, drip glaze, signed, 3.5 inches tall, vintage. I paid about $2 for it. It sold for $8, and the shipping paid was $8.17. This person sent me a message, and they said, oh, they didn't send me a message. They wrote, instead of sending me a message through eBay, they posted it on my feedback. So they gave me positive feedback and said that the item was being returned to me because the address should have been blah, 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 and that I could return it to them once I get it back, and they'll pay the difference in the shipping. And I'm like, does this person even know how this works? You know, no, obviously. So anyway, I wrote them back on my feedback, and then I sent them 3 messages because I was not hearing from them. And I called eBay to find out how I should handle this because it's getting returned. They still wanted it, supposedly. And so I had to figure out a way to make them pay for the shipping because this was not my fault. They did not put their whole address in, or it wasn't correct. Anyway, I think I told you it sold. I paid $2 for it. It sold for $8, and $8.17 was the shipping. So eBay said that they would have to purchase the shipping label and send it to me through the messaging system, or they could email it to me. And I said, how are they going to email it to me? Because anytime I've tried to give anybody my email address in eBay's messaging, it won't let you because it blocks email addresses. And they said, oh no, you just have to put it in as your name, and then instead of putting the dot in and at, you write the words out. And I'm like, no, this person who I'm communicating with is not going to understand any of that or how to do it or whatever. But anyway, I wrote the person, I told them what they were going to have to do. The only message I got back from them after 3 that I'd sent them was, never mind, I found another cup. And it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? So I called eBay again. I'm like, what do I do? And they said, when it gets back, if nothing is, if nothing's wrong or whatever, and I got it back, that I can refund them everything but the shipping. So that's what's going to happen with that. So that stupid thing's going to be back in my store again, or it's going to end up at the yard sale because I really don't want to look at it anymore. Anyway, that's it for my solds. Again, it was 18 buyers, 19 items. The other thing, and I can't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning or not, I wanted to thank Darlene for the cup of coffee that she sent me. I have a link in I'd completely forgotten, but it's in my videos down at the bottom with the other links. I don't have very many down there anymore. Anyway, she bought me a cup of coffee last week. I think it was for my birthday. So thank you, Darlene. And then 4 months ago, Lisa sent me 2 cups of coffee. And I don't know if I ever thanked her. So I wanted to thank you, Lisa, for that. And again, Catherine, thank you for your purchase. If you guys, if anybody out there buys anything from me, please, please send me a note when you purchase. There's a place to leave a note for the seller. Put a note in there and let me know. And please use the 10% discount code that I have down below. It's in the item notes or whatever for every video. You know, if you see something and you want to buy something from my store, please use the coupon and, you know, you get 10% off. It might save you on whatever the shipping would be. I don't know. Anyway, thanks again, Lisa, Darlene, and Catherine, and everybody else for being here and for watching. And, you know, when you guys leave comments, it's much appreciated. Still not monetizing. I have not had enough watch hours, so, you know, it's going to take time. I think people, because I put timestamps in, I think people kind of jump around, and they don't watch the whole videos, which is fine. You know, again, I did not start doing this so that I could make money on it, and I don't want stupid commercials, so I don't know how I'm going to handle that. And you guys may be getting commercials already. I don't know. I haven't monetized, so I don't know if they're making you watch commercials or not. So let me know down below if you're being forced to watch commercials to watch my videos, or if there's any commercials showing up at all. I don't know. So anyway, that is it. I'm going to turn the air conditioning on because I'm starting to get sticky. And again, I think it's Tuesday, so that's going to be it for this video. It's not going to be a long one. It's just my solds, basically, and my little, while I was talking to you while I was on the way to the post office. So I will see you guys soon. I'll do another video if I win anything at that auction, and because I have to drive, I think it's 14 miles away, up into Ohio. I may take the ferry again, so we may get another ferry trip, and hopefully I won't get stuck next to that box like I did last time. I couldn't see anything. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.